I'm Violet, my show is Anyway Here's Wonderwall, and this is What's in My Bin. This is the AJJ album, The Bible 2. It's their most recent album, I think. Yeah, it came out in 2016. I wouldn't say it's my favorite album by them, but it's the one that I've been listening to like this week. For the last like month, I've been listening to just different AJJ albums on repeat. I feel like it's less desperately sad than a lot of AJJ albums because they tend to be like incredibly sad, but it does still have like their patented wild surrealism and like existential and visceral horror in a lot of the lyrics. My favorite song on it is Small Red Boy, which is like by far the longest song, and it just tells like a full story. It's like very surreal and weird. One of the lines is like, I watched my horns grow longer, and it's like describing somebody's transformation into some sort of a demon. And there's a part about like watching somebody's uvula become a knocker and their throat become a hallway. It's very intense. But then they'll also like throw in random details that are like, even the really desperately sad songs will still have something that's really funny in them. Like the song No More Shame, No More Fear, No More Dread, which I think is the saddest song on the album. One of the lines is just stabbed in the face, that's all the rage, and then they just keep going. Like what I like about folk punk is it's very cathartic, and I think that this album is maybe less like cathartic in some ways because it's not as desperately sad, which I think is the best description I can think of for a lot of AJJ songs, but it's still fun and surreal and horrific, but always kind of funny even when it's being horrific.
I watched myself get freer. I let my horns grow longer. I observed my skin get redder.
Okay, this is Jack and Eliza, Gentle Warnings. This was one of the first albums I ever heard at the station. This is actually, this label is me in, it would have been 2015. This was like one of the first albums I ever censored here. So that was me a long time ago. I didn't write the we underneath, somebody else wrote that. So they're a duo from New York, and Eliza, I think when she was like 16, won the John Lennon Songwriting Prize. They have like a very nice kind of beachy sound. Actually, if you Google my name on the KDVS website, you'll find an album review from me about them. Oh, okay, it describes them as having melodious, sun-drenched pop sound, and I feel like that pretty much gets it. It's like kind of a sparse sound, but it also like, because I think it's just like two guitars, sometimes drums, and then the two voices. I think that's pretty much it. But it feels very like dream poppy and chill wavy a little bit. And it's good for summer. I don't know. Yeah, I especially like Secrets and Quarter Past the Hour. Both especially good.
I guess I don't have time. Hold me, baby.
This is the Avett Brothers, Emotionalism. Okay, so when I was 12, I had an iPod, like a little tiny iPod, and I had 81 Avett Brothers songs on it. It was like all that I had. The iPod was pretty much like a vehicle for the Avett Brothers to me. And it included this album, which has, I think, one of the most beautiful songs I've ever heard. It's called The Ballad of Love and Hate. I think it's one of their more well-known songs, and every person I've ever told to listen to it has let me know that it made them cry. I don't think it's sad, it's just like, it's very sweet and a little like melancholy, and it is like a full story, so I don't want to like spoil it because it is really just like a story to listen to. Seth and Scott Avett, I think, have like the most beautiful voices of anyone I've ever heard. They're the two Avett brothers in the band. They just have like legitimately angelic voices. But I also listened to them a lot when I was 12 because they're from I believe they're from Charlotte, North Carolina, and I used to live like 45 minutes outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. So like it was a way for me to hear an accent that I missed hearing. And also like it just felt comforting to listen to. There's a part in the song Shame where I can never tell the Avett brothers' voices apart because they sound very similar, but one of them sings I have read the mail, the stories people often tell, and when he sings tell, he does a little thing with his voice, and I have a distinct memory when I was like 14 of playing it over and over for a friend of mine being like, do you hear this? And she was like wholly unimpressed, and I was like, no, do you hear this though? I went back and listened to it, and I like, if you weren't super into the song, I could see you not being super impressed by it, but it's beautiful, and he's got a beautiful voice, both of them.
With a serious look on his face, love arrives safely with suitcase.
This is Julien Baker's album, Sprained Ankle. So I actually heard about this album from somebody who used to listen to my show every week. They I think called in and told me that I should listen to the song Sprained Ankle. Julien Baker has this her guitar style is like beautiful, magical, and sparkly, and I think she uses a lot of loop pedal, and she's done like 2 Tiny Desk concerts now, and they are both just beautiful, and you can like watch her using the loop pedal and doing this like creating this beautiful sparkly sound. Like I don't know how to describe it beyond sparkly.
'Cause it's what you needed so bad, and it's true.
My favorite song on the album is probably Something, because it's got this really interesting like looping rhythm to it that I think fits the lyrics in some ways, because the song is about thinking that she should have done something to stop somebody from leaving, and so it's just sort of like this looping, like cyclical thinking matched with this looping kind of rhythm and repetition. It's very beautiful. Her vocals especially, there are a lot of parts in her songs, especially on her most recent album that came out earlier this year, where she just kind of starts shouting while she's singing, and it's like so moving. Yeah, the songs are like incredibly emotional. This is Adult Mom's album, Soft Spots. I just opened this up and realized it says inside, everyone has soft spots, not everyone knows how to hold them. It's so sweet. This album is like very much about tenderness. Like every review I read of it after it came out just talked about like tenderness and vulnerability and all these, like, it's just such a sweet album and like incredibly tender. Very mellow bedroom pop, nice diaristic lyrics is what this says. And then someone else wrote Howdy, so. They're a bedroom pop band, in my opinion, and like it feels like you're just sitting in a bedroom with them listening to them. Like it's also a very intimate album. So when I like am feeling anxious or something, they're a very good calming band. I think AJJ is good to listen to when anxious too, if you want to channel that anxious energy into something fun or positive. Like most folk punk bands are good for that. And then if you like need to calm down, a band like Adult Mom is good for that. I saw them perform live in San Francisco a couple months ago. I went in fully prepared to cry at the show. I didn't, but I was prepared to. I'm tearing up now, but I think it's just allergies. I think my favorite song on it is First Day of Spring, which is the last song. The full screen is also good, partially because the very first part of the first line is "Do you full screen your porn?" which is fun to play in my car when somebody's not expecting it.
Months ago, and I wish.
My show is Anyway Here's Wonderwall. I'm on Fridays from 1 to 2:30. I play bedroom pop and folk punk and chillwave and dream pop, and then sometimes other stuff, but I start off every show with a different cover of Wonderwall every week. This is What's in My Bin. Thank you for watching.